Hello family, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's Susan Paul here and welcome back to today's video. Yeah, how are you guys? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whichever country you are. I wish you all the best this year and I hope you're doing well. I hope you woke up healthy this morning. And if this is your first time in this channel, I am Susan Paul SP, and if you're my returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back to watch my videos. And kindly, if you meet this kind of a face anywhere, subscribe to that channel. Yeah, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Kindly subscribe. If you haven't yet, just click on the red button below and like just 1 second of your time to subscribe. Yes, subscribe. Have you subscribed yet? Subscribe. What are you still waiting for? Subscribe. Thank you for subscribing. And kindly, in today's video, today's video is all about why I stopped myself from breastfeeding, the reasons why I had to stop him from breastfeeding. Yeah, if you're a first timer and you're thinking of stopping a baby from breastfeeding, this video is the best for you. Kindly stay tuned, and it's all about moms. Yeah, it's all about first time moms, etc. So first of all, the reason why I stopped my son, actually, first let me tell you that my son is actually 2 years old and 1 month now. And like obvious in hospitals, in the hospital, the mothers are recommended to stop exact time. They are recommended to stop breastfeeding at the age of 2 years old for the baby to breastfeed enough milk. Yeah, most especially firstborns. You have to stop your baby from the age of 2 years old, unless you have issues, unless you have a disease that is not allowing you to breastfeed the baby. That's when you're not allowed to breastfeed the baby, unless your breast maybe have issues or problems. That's when you'll not be allowed to breastfeed a baby. But if you're normal, you gave birth normal, and your body is normal, there's nothing distracting you, you have to breastfeed your baby for 2 years, then that's when you have to stop breastfeeding. So and okay, if I may say, that some mothers also who exceed like 2 years and a half. That is only if you're not working, if you're at home and you don't go anywhere, you're just a housewife, you stay at home from morning to morning, you don't go anywhere, you're okay to breastfeed your baby. But then by that time, when the baby reaches 2 years, the milk will start reducing from your breast. That you have to be aware of. And it will no longer also satisfy the baby, because the baby system is already large, like the stomach. It's no longer a small baby whereby even though you give him or her one breast to breastfeed, you will get satisfied. No, it's not like that. But on the other way around, also when you're working, if you're not a stay-at-home mom, and you're working, maybe you have a maid, or maybe you have your relative at home who is not working, just at home. That's when maybe you're leaving them with your baby at home. You can also be pumping your milk and leave them with the milk. But that can also lead to the baby stopping breastfeeding, forgetting the breast, and shifting to bottle feeding. Okay, and also it will lead to the baby leaving breastfeeding earlier. Okay, that's why you find that working moms always stop their breastfeeding at the period of 6 months, some at the period of 10 months. That's when they stop breastfeeding, of which also is good, because the baby will be now eating food. Yeah, that time the baby will be introduced to foods, porridge, yeah, fruits, things like that. But in general, you are allowed to stop breastfeeding at the age of 2 years. For me, that is what my doctor told me in the hospital. You know, in the hospital, when you're given birth, most especially in maternity ward, where mothers give birth, and you give birth and then the next day maybe you're discharged to go home. They first give you advice before you go home. The doctors come and they give advice to all the newborn mothers, the mothers here who have given birth here in the maternity hall. They give you all the advice about babies, how you're going to care for the babies when the baby is still small. Most especially they give to first time moms, yeah, when the baby is still small, how you have to care for the baby, about the umbilical cord, about what things like that, etc. So they give you all that and you have to follow that, yeah, unless maybe if you, but most especially if you're a single mother, and it, no, not a single mother, sorry, if you're a first time mom and maybe you are with your husband alone in the house, maybe your parents are staying far away from you, and like the way I was, it was just me and my husband, because my parents are very far away in Uganda, and also the parents of my husband are very far from the town, and we are just alone struggling. But all in all, we thank God we reached to this extent, okay. And let me tell you something, it was really not easy, but uh, you have, your first time mom, you have to be very sharp. You have to use your mind very well, and when you go to the hospital you have to ask a doctor some questions about the babies, because you're allowed to ask the questions, you have to ask them. So that is what I was doing, and that is what helped me up to now, and I thank God. Back to the reason why I stopped my baby from breastfeeding. Like I said, he's 2 years already, he's a big boy. And another thing, I found out that my son actually prefers breast milk so much than food, and that is why I decided to stop him from breastfeeding, because when I give him food, he cannot eat enough food. He can just taste like 2 spoons, 3, 4, is done, and he's not going to eat again. And if even if he decides the whole day, you will not going to eat any food apart from breast. That is how he was. That is how he started misbehaving in the house. Like, he only wants to breastfeed. He can tell you, when you give him porridge, I don't want. You give him food, no. You give him fruits, no. Give him milk, no. And then he only cries for breast. So I wanted to stop him when he was 1 year and a half, but I felt again mercy for him. I was like, he's still a young baby, still a small baby, and he over cries a lot. Like, even if you skip one day without breastfeeding, or even for 1 hour without breastfeeding, you refuse to give him breast, he used to cry and cry. So I felt mercy for him, and I was like, let me just leave him breastfeed until he reaches 2 years old, and then I'm going to stop him from breastfeeding. And that is what actually I did. And so far so good. He's no longer breastfeeding, and I am so happy for that, because it was really bad for me, because my son was not eating. At least now he has started eating somehow, though not that much, but I'm really happy for that. But you know why some people breastfeed their babies to 2 years and 2 months or something like that? The breast milk is actually purposely made for making that food that the baby has eaten digest very well, and also to make his system boosted and very strong and very healthy, yeah, in case of anything, any disease, any what, your milk, the mother's milk are very strong, and it can actually strengthen the baby's system. So if you find that the baby is not eating enough food and only takes the breast, and is a big boy or she's a big girl, you have to stop very early, because let me tell you something, breast milk cannot satisfy a baby now. When the baby is big, like 2 years old, breast milk is now less, okay, it's now less, because the baby has grown, and also it will no longer satisfy the baby, because already the baby's stomach is big. And remember, when that baby puts now the mouth on the breast to breastfeed at that age, that baby can sit on the breast for like 1 hour while you're breastfeeding. That is how my son was. Can sit on a breast for 1 hour to breastfeed. Anything that I wanted to do, I used to do it late, things like that, late work. So that is how I was. And then it was really not good. That is how I noticed my son does not like food. And then now I had to do it forcefully for him to start eating. Yeah. And for good 3 days now, it has been hot for me, because he can cry and cry and cry and cry and cry, and until he keeps quiet alone. He gets used to, and it does not matter how long it is going to go, I'm going to go with him until he forgets the breast, okay, until he gets used to eating food, okay. So that is all actually for today's video. Those are the reasons why I stopped my son from breastfeeding. And yeah, I had to do it, though sometimes I feel mercy for him when he over cries, and but I cannot take him back to the breast, it's too late. Yes, so that's all for today's video actually. And subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't. Kindly subscribe, share, like, and comment. I do appreciate your support, guys. Deep down my heart, you're the best guys ever, and I wish you all the best in 2025. We are still in a new year, January, okay. Yeah, see you on the next video. Bye.